So let's resume now modelling the rest of the picture frame. I'll just delete these two objects. And we'll come out of isolation mode now so that we can see the entire scene. Press / on the numpad to do that. And now I want to select the picture frame and go back into isolation mode so that we're only looking at this model. We'll go into edit mode. And now we'll start improving the realism of this section of the model by beveling these hard edges as well. So into edit mode, number 2, I'm going to alt click these edges, making sure I get all the way around to the back as well. And now we can do a bevel. So Control B will bevel those. And before I do that, the reason I'm not doing it all at once, I could also do this one and do Control B, but it's not going to give us a very smooth result. Let me just show you what I mean. So if I do that, you can see this geometry, it's becoming a little bit wonky while it's trying to bevel in both directions at the same time. So let me undo this. I'll deselect this one. And now if I do Control B for bevel, you'll see this is very smooth. So we get a nice smooth transition. And if I now select this one, we'll do Control B, and you'll see it's now smooth in both directions. So it's a much better result if you do it in 2 steps. I'll just undo that last one. I'm going to select this edge here, and I'm going to Alt Control click it. So if you remember, that's going to do a edge ring selection. So it's going to select the ring all the way around the side of that picture frame model. And now I want to extend the selection to be a loop. So we're going to the select menu, select loops, and we'll say select edge loops. And it will extend the selected edges into edge loops. And now we can do Control B, and we can bevel those. Now, make sure that you've got an edge exactly in the middle. It's got to be even, 2 faces or whatever, 4 faces on each side, or 1 face on each side. The reason is we're going to take advantage of this later on when we start applying textures. So with that done, let's just check the model, make sure everything's looking all right. I think actually, let's F9, I think we could do with a few more segments there. So let's take it up to, let's say 8. We've got an even number, and that'll make sure we've got a cut, an edge loop right down the middle still. And we'll come out of edit mode. You see we've got this faceting, so right click, shade smooth auto, and now we've got a better result. It's not perfect though. If you look at the back, we are still getting a bit of a shading artifact in the corner. And if we just go over here again, into matte cap, and we'll see we're getting a bit of a weird result, which is going to result in strange looking reflections and shadows and things on your object. So it's a good idea to fix that. So again, the reason is exactly the same as last time. Let's just go back to Studio, into this mode. It's because these big faces here, even though they're quads, are trying to smooth with this area here. So very easily, what we're going to do is Control R, we'll left click, and then we'll bring this one down. And then we'll do another one, Control R, we'll bring that one up. And now we've got an extra support loop, and this surrounding support loop is going to be flat in the same angle as this one. So if we look now, we're no longer going to be getting any of those shading artifacts in the corner. And we'll do the same, if necessary, on the front. So I think, yeah, we'll do one just here. So Control R, and we'll slide this one up a little bit. And that should be okay now. Let's just have a look now at matte cap. And we can see now that that distortion around the edges has completely disappeared. Let's just go around to the front. And it's looking a little bit sort of messed up on the sides of these sort of lines on this part. You would expect some distortion, obviously, because the geometry is, you know, it's not level. But you wouldn't expect this sort of messy edge. So what we'll do, into edit mode, Control R, and I'll slide the mouse wheel, so I've got 2, right click, and I'll just do making sure I'm in local, I'll do S, X, and I'll scale these apart. You'll notice as I do that, the edges of those line textures are becoming much crisper. We'll take it all the way to the edge, just so we've got an extra support loop at the end there. And we'll check the bottom one is also, it's not too bad, but we'll do the same. So Control R, use the mouse wheel to create two, right click, and then we'll SX to slide those outwards. Just gives a bit more definition there. And if we want to as well, we can try the same on this one. So Control R, use the mouse wheel to get two, and this time I'll do S and then Y. And see if that makes any difference. So that's not really making much difference at all. No. So I'm going to get rid of those, Control X, but they don't seem to be needed on this one. Right. So I'd say that's the picture frame model finished off. We can now move on to looking at lighting and creating materials as well to give us that realistic look.